Hollywood has always been a breeding ground for scandal, but the legal battle involving Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni has taken things to a whole new level. The stakes are enormous, not just because of the legal implications, but also due to the behind-the-scenes power dynamics that are now being exposed. At the heart of the drama is Blake Lively, a star known for her iconic role in Gossip Girl and her carefully crafted public image. Yet, as conservative commentator Candace Owens has pointed out, the facade of the perfect Hollywood couple may be hiding a much darker reality. Owens has shifted her focus from Lively to Reynolds, the ever-charming, nice guy of Hollywood, revealing that he has been far more involved in the legal turmoil than anyone realized. As the story unfolds, the intrigue surrounding these high-profile figures continues to captivate both fans and the media. A deeper look into the legal maneuvers. The legal case between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has been filled with back-and-forth filings, subpoenas, and allegations, each adding another layer of complexity to the already tangled narrative. The latest twist came when Blake Lively's legal team filed a new document that significantly changed the course of the case. This filing aimed to address accusations that Justin Baldoni had made and to push back against what Lively's team views as inconsistencies in his claims. Legal experts have weighed in on the move, noting that while the filing was strategic, it may not be enough to turn the tide in Lively's favor. The filing centers on claims of harassment, manipulation, and the attempt to control the narrative surrounding Lively's role in the controversy. But as Owens has argued, the case may be less about seeking justice and more about protecting Lively's carefully crafted public image and her influence in the entertainment industry. Blake Lively's legal strategy has included invasive subpoenas, requesting years of private communications and cell records from the Wayfarer parties involved in the case. The subpoenas demand documents concerning call logs, text messages, and data logs from the phones of individuals associated with Baldoni, including people connected to the Wayfarer parties. This aggressive legal maneuver has raised eyebrows and sparked outrage from Baldoni's camp, with many critics questioning whether Lively's team is attempting to intimidate him into submission. Candace Owens versus the Hollywood elite. Candace Owens has long been a vocal critic of Hollywood, accusing its elite members of hypocrisy, media manipulation, and self-serving agendas. In her take on the Blake Lively drama, Owens has not hesitated to point out what she sees as a fundamental issue with the way Lively and Reynolds are handling the case. According to Owens, Ryan Reynolds, who has cultivated an image of a charming, down-to-earth actor, is much more involved in the legal strategies surrounding the lawsuit than many people realize. Owens claims that Ryan Reynolds is playing a pivotal role in shaping the legal direction of the case, including influencing key decisions and providing support for Blake Lively's accusations. While Blake has largely been the public face of the legal battle, Owens suggests that Ryan has been pulling the strings behind the scenes, helping to orchestrate the legal strategy, including the decision to issue subpoenas and challenge the credibility of Justin Baldoni's claims. Ryan Reynolds' role in the drama, a behind-the-scenes player. Ryan Reynolds' involvement in the drama surrounding his wife has been a topic of much speculation. Known for his wit, humor, and laid-back personality, Reynolds has often been seen as the perfect counterpart to Blake Lively's more serious and glamorous public image. However, Owens has highlighted instances where Reynolds has shown his awareness of the legal battle, raising questions about his deeper involvement. One such instance occurred during the SNL 50th anniversary special, when Ryan Reynolds was asked by Amy Poehler and Tina Fey about a Coneheads bit. In a sarcastic response, Reynolds joked, "Great, why? What have you heard?" This offhand remark, according to Owens, was a subtle nod to the ongoing legal drama. Many took it as a reference to the growing public speculation surrounding Lively's legal battle with Baldi. The comment, though seemingly innocuous, raised eyebrows for its timing and the way it seemed to downplay the serious nature of the allegations. The use of humor to deflect from serious allegations is not new in the world of Hollywood, but it adds another layer of complexity to the case. Owens argues that Reynolds' sarcastic remarks indicate that he is not only aware of the mounting public scrutiny, but may also be actively participating in minimizing the impact of the allegations against his wife. The Lively family's legal tactics, subpoenas, silence, and strategy. The legal tactics employed by Blake Lively's team have been aggressive and, at times, controversial. One of the most shocking moves came when Lively's attorneys issued subpoenas to T-Mobile and Verizon, demanding years of data, call logs, and text messages from individuals connected to the case. These subpoenas have raised serious questions about the privacy of the individuals involved and have led to accusations that Lively's team is using their legal power to intimidate and silence their opposition. The subpoenas, which span a period of multiple years, are seen by some as a strategic move to uncover new evidence that could bolster Lively's claims. However, others view them as a blatant attempt to exhaust and overwhelm Justin Baldoni, forcing him into a position where he has no choice but to settle. Legal experts have debated whether this aggressive tactic will backfire, damaging Lively's reputation further and making her seem more like a bully than a victim. Adding to the controversy, Blake Lively's legal team has recently requested a gag order to prevent Justin Baldoni's legal team from speaking about the case publicly. This move has sparked outrage among critics, with many arguing that it is a direct attempt to silence Baldoni and control the narrative surrounding the case. Critics point to the fact that Lively's team has already made public statements, including releasing edited text messages, which further complicates the request for privacy. A testimony that shakes the image of Blake Lively. As if the subpoenas and legal maneuvers weren't enough, a former employee who worked directly with Blake Lively has come forward, providing damning testimony about her off-camera behavior. This woman, who has remained anonymous, describes Blake as a highly calculated and manipulative individual. According to her testimony, Lively would go to great lengths to ensure that things went her way, using her charm and influence to sway those around her. This testimony has led many to question whether Blake Lively's public persona as a sweet, down-to-earth actress is truly accurate. The former employee's account paints a picture of someone who is willing to step on others to maintain her status and control the narrative around her. While the actress has built a career on playing the girl next door, this testimony suggests that there may be more to Lively than meets the eye. The future of the case. Will the truth prevail? As the legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni continues to unfold, it remains to be seen who will come out on top. Both sides are digging in their heels, with Lively's team using aggressive legal tactics and Baldoni's camp pushing back with strong counterclaims. In the end, the question may not be about who is right or wrong, but rather who has the resources and influence to control the public narrative. The stakes are high, and the future of Blake Lively's career could depend on the outcome of this case. If her legal team succeeds in turning the tide in her favor, she may emerge victorious. But if her tactics backfire, the damage to her reputation could be irreparable. The case has already exposed a darker side of the actress, and with the involvement of Ryan Reynolds and other powerful figures, the saga is far from over. The Blake Lively legal drama, a deep dive into Hollywood's latest scandal. The ongoing legal battle involving Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni has captured the attention of not only Hollywood insiders, but also fans around the world. For those who have been following the unfolding drama, the story is anything but simple. The case is filled with accusations, counterclaims, and revelations that have led to heightened public scrutiny of some of Hollywood's most beloved stars. But behind the headlines, this saga is much more than just a legal battle. It's a reflection of the pressures and complexities of working in the entertainment industry, where power dynamics, egos, and reputations often intersect in explosive ways. As someone who has worked closely in Hollywood for over a decade, including at a talent agency and management company, I feel uniquely positioned to provide context to this scandal. Having worked with both talent and directors over the years, I can offer a perspective that helps illuminate the intricacies of the situation. But even beyond that, my own experiences, growing up in the industry as a Nepo baby, a term used to describe children of parents in the entertainment world, have given me a front-row seat to the often overwhelming and complicated lives of those in Hollywood. My personal experience with Blake Lively. My journey into Hollywood began when I worked on the set of a local New York City show that aired on the Fuse channel, which was a competitor to MTV in the early 2000s. This was just one step in a much larger trajectory that eventually led me to work with major talent agencies like CAA and management companies. It was during this time, specifically in the summer of 2005, when I had the opportunity to work directly with Blake Lively. At the time, she was in the midst of promoting her breakout role in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, a film that would solidify her place in Hollywood. The day I worked with her was a whirlwind of press appearances, interviews, and rehearsals. The experience was mostly professional, and there was little that stood out at first glance. However, what I remember most vividly was the way Blake interacted with the crew. There was a palpable tension in the air, and even though I hadn't worked with her before, it became clear to me that she was not thrilled to be there. She appeared to feel uncomfortable with the press setup, often glancing around nervously and engaging in small talk, but never really seeming to connect. This was the first time I'd experienced firsthand the delicate balance that public figures must navigate in their careers. On the one hand, you have to maintain a composed, professional image for the press, but on the other, you have to grapple with your personal discomforts and anxieties. As it turned out, my interactions with Blake would lead to an incident that would spark one of the first public controversies involving her. She allegedly complained about me treating her like a fan. This accusation came out of left field and left me feeling mortified. The accusation and its impact. Blake's complaint, if you could call it that, was that I treated her as though I were a fan rather than a professional. This was the last thing I expected to hear, especially since I had always been taught on set to never cross the line and treat talent with the utmost respect. Yet, despite my attempts to maintain professionalism, Blake felt uncomfortable with my actions. This was particularly strange to me because, at the time, I had no idea what I had done wrong. All I had done was engage in basic conversation, ask her if she needed anything, and ensure she was comfortable during the press junket. I had even tried to make her laugh, thinking it would help ease the tension. But instead, my attempt to be friendly and show empathy was met with disdain. I'll be the first to admit that I was shaken by this encounter. On the way home, I remember sitting on the Long Island Railroad, reflecting on everything that had transpired. I felt like I had done something wrong, and that feeling stayed with me for days. I also became acutely aware of how deeply personal interactions with talent can affect one's career in this industry. It's not just about the work you do, it's about how you make others feel. I'd heard stories of actors and actresses in the past complaining about uncomfortable encounters with crew members, but I never imagined I would be on the receiving end. Hollywood's power dynamics, the role of directors and agents. The experience I had with Blake Lively is not unique. It's a reflection of the power dynamics that exist in Hollywood. Actors and actresses, especially those as high-profile as Blake, are constantly under scrutiny, and their interactions with those around them can quickly become magnified. But beyond personal interactions, the behind-the-scenes workings of Hollywood are often just as complex. Directors, producers, agents, and managers all have their own agendas, and the push and pull of these power struggles can lead to uncomfortable and sometimes unethical behavior. During my time working with major talent agencies, I saw this firsthand. The pressures of maintaining a career in Hollywood are immense, and the lines between professionalism and personal relationships often blur. In many cases, directors and agents are the ones pulling the strings, making decisions about which projects an actor or actress will take on, and how they'll navigate their public image. In Blake's case, this dynamic is made even more complex by her relationship with Ryan Reynolds, who is known for his laid-back, jokey persona, but has become deeply entangled in the legal battle surrounding her. As the legal drama between Blake and Justin Baldoni continues to unfold, the role of directors and agents has become even more pronounced. One of the most significant revelations in this case has been the testimony of the intimacy coordinator involved in the disputed scenes from It Ends With Us, a film that Blake starred in. The intimacy coordinator's statement confirmed that Blake had indeed been uncomfortable during filming, supporting the claims made by her legal team. However, this testimony also sparked a debate about what constitutes professional discomfort versus actual misconduct. The legal fallout, a battle of claims and counterclaims. The legal battle between Blake and Justin Baldoni has taken numerous twists and turns. At the heart of the dispute is a $400 million lawsuit, which could potentially bankrupt Blake, Ryan, and their colleagues if it is ruled in favor of Baldoni. The lawsuit centers around accusations that Blake and Ryan, as producers on the film, engaged in unethical behavior during the production of It Ends With Us. According to Baldoni, Blake repeatedly undermined the crew, including the wardrobe director, and engaged in behavior that drove up production costs unnecessarily. She allegedly made wardrobe choices on her own, bypassing the usual channels for decision-making, and even refused to attend scheduled fittings, opting instead to have the clothes delivered to her. But it didn't stop there. Baldoni also claims that Blake rewrote her lines on a daily basis, often making revisions without consulting the other producers or crew members. This not only disrupted the flow of production, but also led to her allegedly demanding complete control over the final cut of the film. According to Baldoni, Blake insisted on getting her version of the film released, even though test audiences had rated his cut higher. This power play extended beyond the film itself, with Blake allegedly attempting to insert herself into the editing room and having pages of notes sent to the editors. When her suggestions were ignored or rejected, she reportedly had the editor and composer fired from the project. In addition to her demands for creative control, Blake allegedly tried to bully her way into securing a prestigious PGA, Producers Guild of America, credit, which was met with resistance from Baldoni and fellow producer Jamie Heath. The Ryan Reynolds factor. Perhaps the most shocking aspect of the case has been the revelation of Ryan Reynolds' alleged involvement behind the scenes. While Ryan has long maintained a public image of being laid back and detached from the drama that often surrounds Hollywood productions, new revelations suggest otherwise. According to text messages that were released by Baldoni's legal team, Ryan was reportedly involved in rewrites of the script, even though he had no official credit on the film. These revelations have raised questions about whether Ryan was acting as a behind-the-scenes manipulator, orchestrating key decisions without officially taking credit. Candace Owens, the conservative commentator who has inserted herself into the ongoing saga, has seized on these revelations to further scrutinize Ryan's actions. Owens has suggested that Ryan's involvement in these decisions was not only unprofessional, but possibly unethical, as it violated the unwritten codes of conduct that govern the behavior of actors and producers in Hollywood. The $400 million lawsuit. With the lawsuit now reportedly worth $400 million, the stakes couldn't be higher. The potential fallout from this case is enormous, not only in terms of finances, but also in terms of public image and future career prospects for all involved. If Baldi wins the case, it could severely damage the reputations of Blake and Ryan, potentially marking one of Hollywood's most expensive legal defeats. For Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, the cost of losing this lawsuit could mean not only a financial hit, but also irreparable damage to their public personas. As one of Hollywood's most beloved couples, their image is built on their perceived charm, wit, and down-to-earth demeanor. If this lawsuit reveals cracks in that image, it could forever change the way they are viewed by their fans and the industry. The battle for Hollywood's soul. As this legal drama continues to unfold, it is clear that the case is far from over. The revelations that have emerged thus far only scratch the surface of the complexities and intricacies involved. The battle for $400 million is not just a fight for money, but a fight for power, influence, and control within Hollywood's elite circles. As more text messages, testimonies, and claims come to light, it's clear that this lawsuit will have far-reaching consequences for all parties involved. For Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni, the future is uncertain. Whether they come out of this battle unscathed, or whether the damage to their careers is irreparable, one thing is clear: this legal war is only beginning.